Not your average tabletop. Woohoo!
Welcome to Not Your Average Tabletop. I'm Zach, and today I'm going to be unboxing Unmatched Redemption Row, which includes Luke Cage versus Ghost Rider versus Moon Knight. So, out of these, I think there's a Luke Cage TV show, or there was, or something like that. Um, Ghost Rider, I think I've sort of heard of as well. I don't know if there was a movie or something. And Moon Knight's the one that I most recently watched, earlier this year, watched the television show for that one, and I thought that was a pretty solid show. It might be my most favorite Marvel TV show that they've put out. So yeah, I thought it was pretty solid. So I think this set, even though I wouldn't say I know all that much about these characters, comparatively to maybe, and comic book wise, I probably wouldn't say I know much about any of the characters in Marvel, but maybe probably still know like the Iron Man, Captain America, Thor, Hulk type characters a little bit more. But um, out of this versus the Hell's Kitchen one, I think I know a little bit more about these ones. Uh, but yeah, I'm excited to give them a try, and I'll be really interested in the Moon Knight one. It's based on a television show. I think the thing with the superhero ones, I'm interested to see how they work because I haven't tried the other Marvel set yet. But I have that one as well. But it's always interesting because obviously superheroes have superpowers. So you want to see if those actually come through in this game, and I think this game kind of gives you the opportunity to maybe do that. It usually does a pretty solid job at things like that and making the characters feel unique. So hopefully these will feel like they're supposed to. Like I said, I don't know that I know exactly what all of their superpowers are supposed to be, but I'll be interested in trying it. So right off the bat, we've got a rule book. If you've ever played this before, these rule books from pack to pack of Unmatched are pretty similar, and then they kind of just include the new rules that maybe pop up in this specific set. And it looks like we've got some of the counters here, health counters. I always love the artwork on these. They all look a little bit different. Looks like, forgetting the name, Luke Cage looks like they have a sidekick, Misty Knight. But the other ones do not appear to have sidekicks. But yeah, the artwork on these are always really cool. I think they always do a really good job at making these health counters. And it looks like we've got some tokens on the bottom here. I'm not really sure how those interact with the board, but I'm sure it'll do something interesting. Looks like maybe I don't know if they allow you to do something instantly or add some defense. Yeah, looks pretty solid. And we've got a new board. It looks like we got the front and the back are the same. Kind of the one has the different colors represented by these little rings, whereas these are the kind of those same things, only they're filled in. I prefer the filled in personally, but I think both can definitely work. Just kind of personal preference, I would say. And it looks like the different tokens are going to go out on these spaces. Not sure what they do. I'm sure I'll find out. But yeah, this one looks like a nice, interesting map where there's kind of some stuff going on in the center here, but then you can go off to the sides and maybe hide a little bit, possibly. But I'm looking forward to trying this one out. I think some people probably like new maps a little more than I do. I guess I prefer the new characters myself. But I know some people really like when there's a new map in the set to try that out and kind of see what characters will be more successful than others in those maps. I would say that I'm not quite to that level of a player quite yet, so I just kind of do what I can with what I've given. Yeah, these will help you put together those dials, the health dials. Then we got some cards here, which, yeah, let me know in the comments below. What's your favorite part of the production of Unmatched? Do you like the boards that they use? Do you really like the cards, or do you really like the miniatures? Mainly maybe cards versus miniatures. I feel like I really enjoy both of those and what they do in these games. Not sure if I missed it here. Does he not have a main card? I am not sure. Usually they have a card that kind of explains their special ability. I don't know if I'm missing it. I'm actually not 100% sure. But anyway, I really enjoy the artwork on these cards. I think that's what makes it so difficult for me as to pick what I like more, if it's the cards or the miniatures, because the miniatures are really solid as well. But yeah, it's kind of got a little bit of comic book vibe to it. And I think they all just look just slightly different from one another, but all feel really, really unique. So yeah, interested in trying that out. Got Luke Cage. Nick Cage's brother, Luke. We've got a Ghost Rider set. Interesting. This doesn't appear to have one either. I don't know if that's just the case for these. I'm honestly not sure. I'll have to take a look. But yeah, so this one's got a little bit of a different look, as you can see here. Maybe a little more spooky, a little scarier than the one we just looked at. But yeah, I still really like it, and I don't really know. I guess is this multiple artists' work? All these Unmatched sets, or are these the same artists typically? I can't really tell because some of them. I mean, they look different, but they look like, I don't know, they're in the same world. I don't know. I really can't tell. Not sure if they are, or maybe they're not. I don't know. I'm honestly not sure. But yeah, let me know in the comments below if you know if it's a bunch of different artists or if it's the same one. Because if it's the same one, they've done an excellent job at keeping them different. See here, this is... Oh, okay. So they're all in the same. There we go. I was going to say, they should have these cards, so now we can go back and look at. So Luke Cage, kind of the first one we looked at. Luke Cage takes 2 less combat damage from attacks. When defending, Luke Cage wins combat if he takes no damage, even if he didn't play a card. So that's an interesting one. We've got Ghost Rider. Ghost Rider starts the game with 5 Hellfire. When you maneuver, you may spend 1 Hellfire. If you do, increase Ghost Rider's move value to 4, and he may move through opposing fighters. Then deal 1 damage to each opposing fighter he moves through. Okay, that's pretty interesting. It kind of makes me think of Bigfoot. I don't remember, or the Jackalope. They kind of can use some of their cards to move through and do some damage, if I remember right. But it's interesting. So we've got Mr. Knight, Moon Knight, and Khonshu. So yeah, if you've watched, if you've either read the comics, I'm sure that would probably do it as well, or watch the Moon Knight show. You know, it's kind of a, what is it? I don't know if it's multi-personality disorder, some sort of thing where he's kind of got different personalities or different characters. So it'll be interesting. So we got 3 different ones here. So when he's Mr. Knight, had +1 to all his defense values. At the end of your turn, change to your next identity, Moon Knight. So then at the start of your turn, move up to 2 spaces. At the end of your turn, change to your next identity, Khonshu. Khonshu adds +2 to the value of his attack cards. He does not take damage from effects other than combat damage. At the end of your turn, change to your next identity, Mr. Knight. So that's pretty interesting. Going to be going from character to character, changing constantly. I don't know. Let's see here how many of these cards allow us to use, or used by any, or if they're. I wonder if they'll all be any. That'd be pretty. I was gonna say, okay, so maybe they're all NAs. That makes some sense. But I really like the look of these cards as well. He kind of just got a black and white look to them. I really like it. I'm really interested in this one for sure. Yes, they are all NAs. I was going to say, if this has like specific characters over here, then only that character can use the card. So I was going to say that's going to be pretty difficult if you're always having to change identities every turn, because that's going to take a lot of planning. But yeah, it'll be interesting because I'm sure there's still things that kind of maybe work better with one when you're using one identity versus the other. So that'll definitely be interesting to see kind of how well identities go with each of those cards, the different ones. Then we've got Moon Knight here, which is a pretty interesting look. He's got a pretty solid looking cape there. Yeah, I really love the look of these minis. And he looks a lot different than a lot of other minis, for sure. And we've got Luke Cage. Looks like a very strong person. Almost looks like he's made of rock. Yeah, he looks like he's gonna do some damage. He's a bit of a brawler, he looks like. And last but not least, we've got Ghost Rider. And it's a pretty cool mini. It's definitely different than any of the other ones. That's pretty cool. I'm trying to think if there's any other characters that are riding vehicles now that I think about it. I don't know if there are. That might be the only one. So that's really cool. I'm definitely excited to try this one out. In the comments below, if you haven't already commented all my suggestions, let me know what your favorite Unmatched set is. If you've tried this one out, which character is your favorite, or which one would you be most excited to try out from what you know of them. But otherwise, I hope to see you on the next video, and as always, don't forget to keep on nibbling on our content.